NASCAR is racing at Nashville in 2021, but it's not the track that I'm pretty sure a lot of you were thinking of. Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the episode of Inside the Lines. My name is Jack Krause, and today we have one quick story, and it's another atom bomb. A major story took place last night, and it's involving a new track coming to the NASCAR Cup Series in 2021. And now, yes, it's in Nashville, but no, it's not Nashville Fairgrounds, but it is the Nashville Superspeedway in Wilson County. Now, an official announcement has not yet taken place. In fact, it's going to take place Wednesday afternoon, so a bit later today at the time of this recording. But an article did come out from the Tennessean that talked about NASCAR coming to Nashville Superspeedway. It starts off by saying that on June 20th, 2021, it's a very tentative date for the NASCAR Cup Series race at the Nashville Superspeedway. What could change as NASCAR and its broadcast partners finalize next year's schedule. Dover Motorsports Chief Operating Officer Mike Tatoian said other races will also be held at the Nashville Superspeedway. The return of racing at the track is not a one-shot deal, but the anticipation to operate the facility for a long time, Tatoian said. Pretty sure I butchered that name, but this is huge news. Nashville Superspeedway has not had a major NASCAR race, or I think even a major race in general, since 2011 with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Back then, it was called the Nationwide Series. And this was a track that nobody had on their radar because of how long it has been since we've seen last race. The building has been shut down. If you guys watched Danny B's video, The Rise and Fall of the Nashville Superspeedway, it's not been active since 2011. It has been shut down. I think it was even at one point, rumors were speculating of it being torn down for some other project. But now the fact that it's come back to life and hosting a cup race nonetheless is huge for the city. Now, one question I thought of was that what is the condition of the racetrack? Again, it has not been used in 10 years, at least for an actual race. Nashville has been used for years after 2011 for testing facilities or testing events, but not for an actual race. So I was quite concerned about the condition of the track. Well, the article goes on to say that the facility that seats 25,000 was built really well, Tatoian said, but there will be a close inspection with the anticipation of necessary upgrades that will include an update to Wi-Fi infrastructure. The track is in great condition, but we will need to make sure it is ready to be a year-round facility. Now, a lot of people are also wondering how this came about, because originally Nashville was bought by Dover Motorsports Incorporated, but then a story came out saying that it sold to a private company. I think that was worth $27.4 million. Well, that deal fell through, and Dover was still able to own Nashville. That is why this next part is very important. It says here that in turn, Dover International Speedway in Delaware will host one NASCAR Cup race weekend in 2021 instead of its customary two. When we built Nashville Superspeedway in 2001, our goal was to one day secure a NASCAR Cup Series date for the venue. Dennis McLean, president of CEO of Dover Motorsports Incorporated, while we have been in discussions with NASCAR for some time about the possibility to bring the NASCAR Cup Series back to Nashville Superspeedway, plans really just became solidified in recent weeks. Alright, so for an example, for those who don't get it, let's say SMI, they own Kentucky Speedway, and let's say they want to add Memphis. Let's say they own Memphis and want to replace that. They can do that, and technically they won't lose a race date because they own both tracks. So that's kind of the situation that's going on with Dover and Nashville. Dover is just replacing one Dover race with Nashville. Now, ultimately, you would think this is going to get a lot of praise, a lot of excitement. Like, yes, new track. I mean, technically new track, at least for the Cup Series. What's the problem? Well, two drivers, one former driver, I guess, at least right now, former driver, and one NASCAR most popular driver, Chase Elliott and Matt Tifft, commented on the announcement of Nashville coming to the NASCAR Cup Series, at least the Superspeedway. Matt Tifft said, if it's very tentative, just cancel that stupid idea. While Chase Elliott says, one snooze fest at that joint will put the nail in the coffin of the fairgrounds. Bummer. Now, I want to touch on that statement from Chase Elliott. Now, the reason why I think that this deal came into place is to set up, to at least to show the officials and representatives of Nashville, to show them, say, hey, look, there is a market for stock car racing. There is a market for NASCAR in Nashville. I mean, think about it. The Nashville Superspeedway is about, what, half an hour away from the fairgrounds? Or actually 37 minutes to be exact. Not that far away. So if Nashville Superspeedway can host a big turnout, it doesn't have to be packed, but, really solid turnout, who knows? It could lead to swaying representatives to be like, you know what, maybe there's something here. Let's invest into this and let's get fairgrounds, because that's that's the main goal, is to get fairgrounds to the schedule. Nashville Superspeedway is just a stepping stone to help that. And this further proves my point of maybe NASCAR using Nashville as a stepping stone to get to the Fairgrounds Speedway on the schedule, because of this tweet from Matt Weaver. It says here that he was told that Dover moved the race to Nashville at the request of SMI. The intent is to encourage Tennessee to approve a ticket tax to cover the cost of renovating Fairgrounds Speedway. So while a lot of people are angry or being very negative of, oh, another mile or a mile and a half oval, D-shaped oval, I thought NASCAR were trying to get away from that. I think it's a lot deeper than that. I think this is just part one of a long process for NASCAR and SMI in order to get the Nashville Fairgrounds on the Cup Series schedule, and I like that. But while it could be very successful, as Chase Elliott pointed out, it could also put a nail in the coffin in the Fairgrounds Speedway if Nashville Superspeedway does not do well. If we get a boring race, a very dull race and a very dull turnout, that's done. Then the fairgrounds experiment's over. So NASCAR, if you have to, bring back the high horsepower, low downforce package. Bring back the 2014 package. Bring back the Gen 4 car. Just make sure, test at that track, test at Nashville Superspeedway as many times as you can to make sure that you get a great race when it comes time to race time on June 20th next year. Because again, great race at Nashville Superspeedway will more than likely, and a great turnout will more than likely lead into a Nashville Fairgrounds date for the Cup Series in 2022 or whatever. But hey, at the same time, I'm very happy. I love seeing, tracks that were supposed to be dead come back to life. I'm happy that Nashville Superspeedway is back in NASCAR, and hopefully after, let's say if NASCAR, the Cup Series, does go to Nashville Fairgrounds, and hopefully maybe, if all goes well, we might see a 2-race weekend there. Maybe one week you go to the Nashville Superspeedway, and then the next week or sometime later during the season, you go to the Fairgrounds Speedway. I think it'll be good for the people at Nashville, because it's a growing market, growing NASCAR market. They had the award ceremony there. So yeah, very excited. And the funny thing is that I think this is really the first bit of news we get of a new track, or at least a returning track, coming to the NASCAR schedule. I cannot wait to see what the remaining track schedules are like. More than likely, there's going to be a bunch of more new tracks coming onto the schedule. I would have been more excited. I would have been more... I would have expected a track like Canadian Tire or Montreal even. But Nashville Superspeedway was something that did not cross my mind, and I'm pretty sure 95% of y'all did not even think Nashville Superspeedway for the Cup Series at least. So who knows, it might be a sign of things to come, of a lot of surprising moves for NASCAR in terms of them leading up to creating the 2021 schedule. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Inside the Lines. Guys, tell me in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on this news? Do you like the move to Nashville? Do you not like the move to Nashville? Again, tell me in the comment section down below. But until next time, my name is Jack Cross from NASCAR on MBK. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.